Good morning, everybody. The other day I was reading one of my favourite websites. It's called TSW Talk, Tinchray Wide Talk. It's a website for Gwaelod, for foreigners who live in Tinchray Wide. And it gives you all kind of news. And this was a very interesting news item that I read on Tinchray Wide Talk. Tinchray Wide school principal quits job to become horse racing champion. Here is somebody riding a horse. We call these people a jockey. Let's read the news article together. By day, he looks after 600 secondary pupils at a school in Tinchray Estate. But at the weekend, the principal chases his passion at Sharton Racecourse. Now this school head in his early 50s has decided to leave the education field for the horse racing track, fulfilling the dream of a lifetime. I've dreamed of being a jockey my whole life, Principal Ng told this reporter. Hopes are high that with several months of intensive training and hard work, Mr. Ng, the former headmaster, could win a major international horse race. If he wins, he promises to return to his former school and share his story with his former students. Very interesting. I'm also an educator, I'm also a teacher. Maybe one day I will be a principal. Maybe then one day I can follow this headmaster and become a horse racing jockey. And the most interesting part of this article was the accompanying picture. You can see that this is a really aspiring jockey to win a horse race. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Okay? Yeah, this is an example of fake news. Okay? Even though we have the picture, even though the picture is true, the story is a little bit suspicious. How do we know it's fake news? Well, it's unbelievable. Would a headmaster really retire to become a horse racing jockey? I'm not so sure. It's far-fetched. That means it's really difficult to believe what's in the story. Also, the author's name, the author of the story, is rather suspicious, or maybe the date is suspicious. Look at the person who wrote this story. Well, who's that? Actually, that's my Chinese name. I wrote the story. Also, there are no reliable sources quoted in the article. Sources mean the source of your information, somebody reliable who gives you the information. Look in the story, this line. I've dreamed of being a jockey my whole life, Principal Ng told this reporter. That's not a reliable source. One person, me, is not a reliable source for this story. Maybe I made it up. Maybe it's fake. And also, if you haven't heard the story on other news sites, if you only hear the story on one news site, it's probably not true, or you need to question whether it's true. So, fake news. Here's one example. I'll give you another example from my favourite website, tinchraywhitetalk.com. Student kidnapped by crazy teacher finally returns home, by Very S. Ick. He thought it would just be a normal day, but little did student Marcus Wong know that his teacher, Spicy Van, had other ideas. Driven mad by the mistakes in his student's writing, Mr. Spicy Van approached Marcus on the light rail on the way to school and told the student to follow him. He's a teacher, so I have to do what he says, Marcus told our reporter. Mr. Van ended up kidnapping Marcus to Ocean Park, where Marcus was forced to spend the whole day riding rides, taking pictures, enjoying the dolphin show and eating lots of junk food. Terrible. I was scared at first, because he had crazy eyes, but in the end I managed to escape. And to be honest, I enjoyed practicing my English that day with that mad South African dude. Marcus's school, Tommy Chan Secondary School, was contacted for a comment but declined to answer. Can you see how fake news works? It looks like a real news story. It smells like a real news story. It tastes like a real news story. The style is a real news story. There's facts, there's quotes, there's names of schools, but it's all a little bit suspicious. It's a bit far-fetched. It's a bit unbelievable. Don't trust everything you read. And that's how fake news works. It mimics, it pretends to be serious, but really it's not. And look at the name of the author, Very S. Ick. Very sick, yes. Okay, suspicious. So, fake news is often used for fun. It's satire. Satire means making fun of something. Or it's a spoof. That means pretending to be something serious, but really it's something funny. So fake news is often used for satire or spoofs. And there are a lot of spoof websites, satire websites. For example, here we have BBC News. This is real news. But they have another website called News Thump, which looks like BBC News, but is completely fake and funny. It's spoof, it's satire. Another one of my favourite spoof websites is National Enquirer, giving news about famous celebrities. All the news on this website is fake. And the best one, I think, is called The Onion. This is a news network that pretends to be like CNN in America, but all the news is fake on The Onion. Now, to give you an example of how fake news can fool people, there was a story in 2012 on The Onion called Kim Jong-un is named the Onion's sexiest man alive for 2012. Now, Kim Jong-un is, of course, the leader of North Korea. Look at his picture. Is he sexy? You decide. But, unfortunately, many people believe this was a real story. And even the People's Daily in China took this news item and said it was a real story. They believed it, because they didn't know the Onion website is a fake website, fake news website. So they thought it was a real story from a real news website. So you can see how easily some people can be fooled by fake news. Now, what I've talked about so far is fake news as satire, fake news as fun, funny, humorous. But it can also be a little bit evil, a little bit bad. And many bad people around the world set up fake websites, they give you fake news, and the reason for doing this is to cause conflict, or to cause instability in the world. Now, how do they do this? The first way they do this is they only give selected or distorted facts. If you go back to the story about the principal, there was some truth in the story. Mr. Ng is retiring soon. Mr. Ng was on a horse during the recent picnic. So there's some truth, but then you mix that with things that are not true. I'll give you an example. Let's imagine there is a student, David, one of you. This student got first in mathematics, first in Chinese, first in liberal studies, great student, but he only got third in English. So then I could write a fake news story like this. Student fails to succeed in exam. A negative story. It's true, he did fail to succeed in the English exam, but I'm only giving you selected facts. I'm only giving you part of the truth. And that's how rumours start, and that's how conflicts start. Or to give you another example, Tin Shui Wai, a great place in Hong Kong. It has a park, it has a swimming pool, it has a tourist attraction, the Wetland Park, it has a cinema, it has a shopping mall. Tin Shui Wai has everything, it's a great place. How about this for a news headline? Lack of 5-star hotel keeps rich tourists away from Tin Shui Wai. Negative. It doesn't have a 5-star hotel, so it must be bad. Of course, this headline ignores all the great things about Tin Shui Wai. So fake news only gives you certain facts, and it hides other facts. Also, fake news works because it plays upon people's hopes and fears. For example, eating too much chocolate could cause cancer. Notice the verb could. That's a very useful verb. It's a conditional verb. It means maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. So you can't accuse the writer of being false. They're just guessing. But this guess gets into your mind. And now, when you eat chocolate, you think, is this dangerous? Or North Korea preparing to attack South Korea. Well, I think they're doing that all the time. Doesn't mean it's going to happen soon. But you read this headline, this fake news, and you think, oh my goodness, something bad's going to happen. Playing football can lead to serious head injuries. Can lead. Doesn't mean it will, but now the thought is in your mind, oh dear, playing football is dangerous. Air quality in Hong Kong could get worse by 2030. Well, it could also get better. But now I've told you it could get worse. Worse is in your mind. And it plays on your hopes too. Fake news plays on your hopes. I saw this headline recently. Drinking beer makes men more intelligent. I believe it. Do you? Because I want to believe it. Okay? Or have you seen the film Joker? The Joker. Bus tour takes fans down iconic Joker stairs. Can't believe it. And Meghan and Harry quit royal family. Oh no, it's terrible. Not true. Now, if fake news is so problematic, can we believe trusted news websites like these? And the answer is yes, but. Here's the yes. Established news websites have stricter standards. They have a code of conduct, and they have to abide by these standards. Fake news websites don't. Established news websites use multiple sources for each fact or quote. If there's a fact or a quote, it doesn't just come from one expert, it has to come from many people to be published, so it's more reliable. They also have a track record for accurate reporting. If you go to tswtalk.com, nobody knows this, it doesn't have a good track record. In fact, it's a fake news website. But the established websites like BBC or CNN, they have a good track record. They have a history of reporting accurately. And if established news websites get something wrong, they can be sued in court. They can be taken to court for libel. Libel means saying something wrong or telling a lie about another person. If I say something that's obviously untrue about you, you can sue me for libel and get some money from the court. So they're more reliable. But, here's the but. Established news websites have editors, and editors are human and biased too. Everybody has bias. Everybody has their own beliefs. And sometimes these beliefs come out in even the established news websites. For example, if you look at these very well-known news websites, if you see The Guardian in the middle, The Guardian tends to talk more about left-wing politics, progressive politics, liberal politics, whereas the Daily Telegraph is the other side. It's more right-wing, conservative, traditional. And this is the bias of the editor coming out. So, if we can't trust fake news websites, and we can't always trust established news websites, what should we do? Who should we trust? The answer today is question everything you see and hear. Check the facts. Check the sources. If it sounds unbelievable, it probably is. And I'd like to end with a couple of things. Many students say, don't fake me. That sounds very unusual to me. If you say don't fake me, it means don't make a fake version of me. Don't make another version of me that is fake. So we don't say in English, don't fake me. We say don't cheat me. So please remember this. Not don't fake me, don't cheat me. And finally, completely different topic. What should you buy your teacher for Christmas? Christmas is coming. I think you would like to buy me a present, so I'm going to give you a suggestion. Here's what you should buy. I love gadgets.
Philadelphia is buzzing over Apple's latest must-have gadget, the MacBook Wheel, a revolutionary new laptop that does away with the keyboard. TechCrunch reporter Jeff Tate has more.
Thanks, Andrea. Say goodbye to the keyboard and hello to the future of laptop computers. With the MacBook Wheel, Apple has replaced the traditional keyboard with a sleek, touch-sensitive click wheel. Apple CEO Steve Jobs introduced the product yesterday at the annual Mac Expo. Senior product innovator Brian Gilman says the MacBook Wheel will make typing a thing of the past.
At Apple, our philosophy is create products that are simple to use, and nothing's more simple than a single giant button.
Gilman showed me how the revolutionary new computer works.
Just open the intuitive alphabet menu here, scroll to the letter you need, see, and center click to select it. Then click again to capitalize, and repeat this process for each new letter. It couldn't be simpler. You can also let the predictive sentence technology complete the sentence for you.
Gilman says the MacBook Wheel has also simplified the organization of files, so searching your hard drive will be a snap.
Just press both sides of the wheel concurrently and center click, and there you have an alphabetical listing of every file on your hard drive. Everything is just a few hundred clicks away.
Apple is calling the MacBook Wheel the most intuitive product ever designed.
Here at Apple, we like to think that we're giving customers features they don't even realize they want yet.
While the MacBook Wheel won't hit the shelves for another 3 to 15 months, many Apple users already have it on their wish list.
I'll buy almost anything if it's shiny and made by Apple.
Alex Zalman was one of the lucky few to get to try out a Mac Wheel and spent 45 minutes typing an email to his friend.
I never really realized how much I hated keyboards until I saw this thing. I like having an email automatically says this is from the MacBook Wheel, that way people know you have one.
With a price tag of just under $2,600 for the lowest end MacBook Wheel, it is an investment. But the super thin laptop features numerous innovations like the new ultra thin Hummingbird battery, which can power the MacBook Wheel for a full 19 minutes before needing to be recharged. And the computer is virtually unbreakable unless dropped or hit. But Apple isn't resting on its laurels. Brian Gilman said they are already hard at work on the next generation of the MacBook Wheel, which will be 4 ounces lighter due to its lack of screen, hard drive, or wheel. For the Onion News Network, I'm Jeff Tate.
Thank you for that, Jeff. It remains to be seen if the wheel will catch on in the business world where people use computers for actual work and not just dicking around. Moving on, police warn that the Sudoku killer will kill either one.
Okay, so if you could get me a MacBook Wheel for Christmas, I would be very happy. As you may have heard, they're coming out in 15 months. They cost more than $9,000 US, and they cannot be broken unless you drop them. Thank you very much. Fake news.